Alright, that should all be working. Yes, everything's working. You never know with these things. I turn down the music a tiny bit, just because it's a little bit loud in my ears. Yeah, hopefully it's not too disturbing. Let me know if it's too loud. Hello, everyone. Hello, my name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns. I am a white woman with really messy hair that needs a cut. Stewpot, eyes. Oh, hello, little mistress. How are you doing, my friend? Yes, this is Too Long Didn't Read TTRPGs, a accountability stream in which I, Fiona, your host, who, as I was saying, I am sort of a white woman with sort of really messy hair and a green t-shirt. You can't see it underneath the captions, but it says, naturally looking. It's got a D20 on it. I realised yesterday when we were doing Blood on the Clock Tower over at RP Geeks, Emily uses green screen stuff. So this top disappeared into the void. So that was quite funny. So turns out, yeah, not the best top for streaming in, unless if you have green screen stuff. But yes, as I was saying, we take an RPG that I found interesting or is, at the top of people's lists, either from the bookshelf of mystery over there or the Google Drive of doom. How are you doing, friends? Oh well. It is a very sunny, very warm 24 degrees where I am. I have yet to step foot outside, but I plan to do that this afternoon after we've done this and after we've done another little bit. We're doing some more prep stuff for an RP Geeks thing later, which I'm looking forward to. Google Drive of Doom, exactly. What a move. Yeah, I every so often have to go back in and just reorganise it. I've got all my TTRPGs. I sat down last year. I was coming to the tail end of my job before doing the big old move, and I just sat down and I was like, I don't have anything to do. I spent 3 days reorganising my Google Drive of RPGs, and God, it's so good. I can find something like that now. Highly recommend if you've got the time, but all the patience. But yeah, let's just dive right into it, friends, shall we? So today we are looking at something called Stewpot, which is an TTRPG that has come from our friends over at Evil Hat Productions. I will say, a massive fan of Evil Hat stuff. I think, whilst maybe people might not know it for their systems, I say that like it comes up with Forged in the Dark, I'm gonna say the Paragon system, which you might recall we've had stuff like Deathmatch Island on recently. I think we've looked at Agon, which are they're both Paragon TTRPG systems. I love Blades in the Dark, which is a Forged by the Dark system. So they do some. I think whilst you may not know the setting, you may not know the systems as well as maybe you should do if you're a TTRPG aficionado, like us cool kids here. They also do lots of different settings or sort of vibes of. I'm just having a look on their website just now. We've got so many stuff. You will have heard of obviously Fate, publishers of Fate. Not as keen on that one, I will say, but people love it. Obviously, all the Forged in the Dark systems. Girl by Moonlight, also a Forged in the Dark game. Of course, how could I forget? Thirsty Sword Lesbians and equivalents. Scum and Villainy, Argon, as I've just said, and Apocalypse Keys is another one that's come out recently. But yeah, today we're looking at Stewpot, which I believe, according to the title, says Tales from a Fantasy Tavern. Now, that's all. A bit here says you play a retired adventurer running a tavern and sitting down in a town. Put down the sword and pick up the ladle. Great. I think that's cool. I like that concept as well. I mean, it's a quite tropey concept when like maybe we've already done the big fight. It's like, what? Let's go come it from the other angle. They're retired, but we're bringing them back out of retirement for one final bit. So yeah, love that. Let's see what else. So what we'll do, as always, we're going to go look at the copy, the marketing copy that we see on the Evil Hat website. I know I put a link to the Drive-Thru RPG. I always do that because I've got an affiliate link there, but I'll put in a link as well to where you can look at this on the Evil Hat website as well. Because I know, people are like it's the affiliate stuff is to help me, get a little bit extra if people want to go and buy it. Yes, as I've said, we're going to look at the actual full core book today. So I don't believe there's any free quick start or anything like that. You can download the character sheets and tavern sheets as resources, which is always good. But yeah, we'll just dive straight into it. As I always say at the beginning, 3 things, the disclaimers of the channel. 1, I am not a game designer. I run a lot of games, I play a lot of games, and I read a lot of games because that is my obsession, that is my interest right now. And the reason I do that is because I want to get better as a game master, as a player, and I think you can really inform what kind of stories we tell. Like I will say, I'm not a big fan necessarily right now of high fantasy stuff, but this I'm like, oh, that's a quite cool, interesting thing. I'd like to try it out. So on that, anything I say is more of a critique of something from my point of view. It is definitely not criticism. These people have been publishing games and writing games for years, and so what's one person's thoughts against another. So take everything I say with a pinch of salt. It's just more of a. This is the first time I'm looking at Stewpot as well, but I am familiar with Evil Hat's sort of catalogue of games. On top of that, I was going to say, what was number 2? I have not been sponsored by Evil Hat. I've applied to be in their program, the creator program, but I have yet to be. I'm there. I'm like, let me in. They've not asked me to do this. It is just something that came up on my random TTRPG generator when I sort of asked for one for today's stream. So, no favoritism, no bias or anything like that. And I'd always say that if I had something like that come up. It just looked like a very interesting game, so that's why I'm looking at it today. And then finally, any content warnings or triggers. I don't know. I get very wholesome vibes from the artwork, which we'll see. I don't believe there's anything necessarily, maybe like, I don't know, being called back into danger, perhaps. But again, if anything like that comes up, I will make sure to sort of flag it, and also, your boundaries, your mileage. Take a break from the stream and step back if you need to. I always appreciate your support here. All right, enough chitty chatter at the beginning of the stream. Let's go from my big face to the website. So, as I said, we're going to look at the actual copy here. So, yeah, this is the Evil Hat website, which I put a link in chat for. I've said this before about Evil Hat stuff. They have a good idea in terms of I just feel like there's always these big gaps. I don't know, you can't see there you go, there's my mouse there. There's always these big gaps everywhere. And I wonder if that's, then you've got this white space here. Now, obviously, I've not optimized it properly for this, because again, we're not going to look at this for the full stream. But I know why they've done this. It's because they've optimized it to be on mobiles. But it just feels there's so much emptiness here. I just wish there was, I don't know, I feel like maybe we could put this up here, this the copy, and put it up here where we can see it. But let's see, and can I see the images? No, they're kind of small, aren't they? I can't even make them bigger, which is a shame. But what I will do, if I go over to RPG, which is also, at the same time, at least you can get a nice big image there of the, let me just make sure I'm moving it all over. Chrome, there we go. Lock that one in place. So always tech difficulties. Oh, wrong one. There we go. There we go. A little bit more in the centre. So yeah, what a gorgeous image, right? Very sort of fairy tale, very sort of, you can really see the detail in the, I want to say, ramen that's been put there. So again, I'll just quickly describe it. It says at the top, Stewpot, Tales from a Fantasy Tavern, and then we've got the author underneath, Takuma Akoda, I believe. The art is beautiful. It really is the Lord Mistress, absolutely. It's almost like, and it looks like, I'm going to say a tiefling is giving food out. You can see on their hand they've got almost like a tattoo with some bandages around their arm, presumably to help carry this very heavy pot of ramen up what looks like to be in a big sort of treetop-esque tavern. You can see people in the back. It looks like to be adventurers of all different kinds of hair and weapons. I can see eating. Oh, wholesome vibes instantly. And so it's nice that we've got the title, and it's sort of done almost like I was going to say a pub sign, like a tavern sign, so it says Stewpot. So I also like the idea that Stewpot is the name of the tavern. Again, it's like food based, I think. I also think Stewpot indicates to me like tea as well, and stewing and stuff like that. So maybe if you Fantasy Tavern, if you're somebody who maybe doesn't want to have places of interest or places where people would meet necessarily to be revolving around alcohol, then easily you could change it to be like a coffee place or a tea place, or even just like a community centre which has like food and stuff. The Lore Mistress says, I loved running this game, but I found it very interesting because it doesn't feel like a TTRPG, more like a series of mini games or scenes. Yes, that is what I sort of read about, and I believe that is the kind of vibe that it's going for. So whether or not it is just like very much like again, the vibe I get from here is like Wonder Home. Actually, I've realised I've changed my camera side, so I'm going to move it. There we go. I was like, I don't want to keep moving this out forward. It feels very Wander Home, right? So it feels like everyone has a place and stuff like that, but it's like short mini scenes between adventures, or maybe recalls back from the past. Maybe you can do almost like a not Neverending Story. What's it called? Oh, The Princess Bride. There you go. Sorry, that's the two films I always reference. Is Neverending Story and The Princess Bride, where somebody's like recounting their tales, and maybe this is part of their tavern. So yeah. Anyway, I just really love the art. It's sort of it's very different, I would say, to other Evil Hat games. If I go back to their website, you can see a few there. You got your oranges, you've got your fighting stuff, lots of your scum, villainy, monster of the week. Of course, is another big one that they produce. Girl by Moonlight, obviously, those sort of magical girls changing to save the world, Tomb of Mysteries, all that sort of thing. And then you have Stewpot. So let's go on their website and we'll look at the actual text. I've zoomed in a little bit because, again, Evil Hat, you do so many good things, but please get a better website, I beg you. Alright, so it says here, the adventurer's life is tough. It's time to call it quits. For years you stumbled through hostile lands, living off stale rations and struggling to get a few hours sleep. Now it is time to hang up your weapons, sell off your armour and settle down. If only it were that easy. Lord Mistress says, yes, Wander Home is a good comparison. It's like a group of adventurers kind of unlearning how to be adventurers and reintegrating into the community. Oh, that is such a cool sort of story hook or concept, the Lord Mistress. I love that idea that you're having to go back to everyday mundane life, whereby you aren't the hero anymore, right? You're not the one that can but the one that can't fix everything, because you don't have that power anymore. You don't have that privilege, I'd say, or duties. And people might not know you. It's that sort of thing where you could be like, who are you? You know, and maybe not getting that sort of thing. That's how I see it as well. Stewpot Tales of Fantasy Tavern by Takuma Akeda. It's a collection of cozy minigames that tell the story of a tavern being run by former adventurers. Gather your dice, pick up a deck of cards, set aside a shiny coin, and get ready for a set of new challenges. It sounds like there's multiple different game mechanics, which is very Wander Home, I will say. Only this time, your adventurers start behind the bar. Stewpot is divided into a series of slice of life scenes with a different set of simple rules and prompts to help adjudicate each scene. You might be scrambling to cook something edible with random ingredients, bartending for troubled souls, calming down a tavern brawl, going shopping with all the things a tavern needs, and more. Work to upgrade your tavern's cuisine, atmosphere, and service. And in the process, you might learn a bit about yourself and your fellow party members. How interesting. So it always has like a, as I know it, a layer where you upgrade it and you do stuff, but there doesn't seem to be an overarching point. And this is me being not being nice. Like for example, I'm using my comparison here with Blades in the Dark, whereby that is obviously you're growing your empire and you're going to purpose, but there's an overarching story and there's factions, all that sort of thing. Here it's just like, this is a nice thing to do. It's almost like, the thing I could compare it to perhaps is like your Bastion moves in D&D. Now that is, it's a new thing, but the idea is obviously you're in the middle of your adventure and you go, oh, by the way, what's happening back at your keep that you have? And then taking turns. And then once you've done those, you go, great, now back to the story. So it's like, almost like one of those, God, the thing I could compare it to, something in my eye. Is it an eyeball? Piece of sleep. Oh, dear oh dear. It's like Farmville. Like you let it go on in the background and then you go, time to pick my carrots. Oh god, those games are dreadful. It used to rule my life when I was at university. Here you got some like downloaded character sheets and Stewpot tavern sheets, but nothing else. There's no other quick reference guides that sometimes we have with Evil Hat games, but again, as we sort of just said, if it's more like mini games, then you're unlikely to have it. But yeah, then we've got some actual plays as well. Oh, look at that, the Lore Mistress. Someone's actual plays on there. How cute. Oh, look at that. Look at all these beautiful people. I've also got some reviews as well, which is nice. I do like this. I will say I am a big fan of stores like on itch, but also I know Evil Hat do this a lot as well, where they get their actual plays and reviews as well, and they put them into the actual page as well, so you could be like, oh yeah, I can see a little bit of it as well. Oh, is it? I did not know that. Yeah, it's right there, my friend. So cute. Oh, so happy for you. I can see also Jen is in the chat there. Very cute. And we've got a Dicebreaker review as well. So yeah, so not only is it just like video reviews, but also article reviews. I mean, maybe this is more of a comment about you're splitting down your reviews and actual places to play it. Would you have it by audio or video as well? I know, for example, Dicebreaker was going to be a written piece, for example, and then it goes on to other bits and pieces, but that's kind of it. So again, what do we think of this copy? Like, I love the idea of it. I would like to see, there's a few examples of things, but again, because I can't open this or it doesn't get bigger, I can't read any of that there. I see some nice imagery there. And the spread looks really beautiful. I can see some like filigree sort of like borders and stuff on a good background. And yes, I should have said at the top, I appreciate you can't really see that. So the physical book is $25, so what, 20-ish pounds. Obviously, your mileage may vary. $15 for the PDF as well. I think over on this it's roughly £12 here, so yeah, £15, £12, etc. to get from Drive-Thru RPG. And again, I use RPG because that's where I keep all my stuff there. But you know, if in doubt, always try and buy from the actual actual store as well, because then means that they're gonna do some more stuff. Oh, some project stations there, nice. And at least here you've got some more examples of some of the artwork. Oh, look at that food there. Oh god, can I make it bigger? Yeah. Oh, I instantly want to eat that. It's sort of like a pumpkin rice ramen thing with some eggs. God, am I going to get hungry whilst looking at this? I absolutely went. Oh, and you can do it. You've got a Roll20 VTT as well with some art packs. Yes, I did see you could buy some art packs. You sort of see it over there. How interesting. All right, friends, let us get away from the copy and go into the actual PDF itself. We'll see how much we get through. Maybe, again, if it's more mini games and certain scenes, we might not get through everything, but yeah, I get a good idea of the actual concept. The PDF itself is 154 pages. Again, it's got lots of art. Let's double check, as always. No alt text. Again, it would be nice to have it again. And the whole image itself for the cover is a full image, which is understandable because obviously you want to have that Stewpot Tales from Tavern. But again, if it just had the alt text to tell us what this is the front cover, that would be amazing. Again, it's good to have the writer on here, so that when people are looking for it, so we don't just take this beautiful artwork and think it's for something else. Stewpot Tales from Fantasy Tavern, a tavern simulation role-playing game for free-to-plus players by Takuma Okada. Okada, yes. They've got obviously wonderful things. The text of this work, I don't know if anyone can see that, yeah, is under a creative license, 4.0 license, meaning you are free to distribute the text and adapt it within the scope of the license, which requires attribution, and that you share your adaptations under similar terms. Oh, isn't that lovely? That's very cool. So the actual, like the almost source material there you can reuse. Gosh, the writing is beautiful, isn't it? Basil Wright. Oh, I know them. They are on Blue Sky quite a bit. And our system consultants there, Meg A. Baker and D. Vincent Baker as well. Of course, they are the Apocalypse World, Powered by the Apocalypse founding members, as it were. I always think it's quite nice to have playtesters involved as well. Otherwise we have, Kickstarters and whatnot, and they have, creator for derivative work, Sunderland, Cyrun and other kind dice, and the Firebrands framework by Meg A. and Vincent D. Baker. I don't know what the Firebrands framework is. That was something I'll look for there. Oh wait, that one had this one does have alt text. Hang on. Hang on, sorry. So weirdly, there's no alt text on the front cover, but on this image here that I just pulled up, sort of big splash piece, there's alt text. Well, all right, okay, I take it back. I always get dismissive about it. Oh, there's no alt text. There is alt text on this. How lovely. So I'll read it out. It says, excuse me, a tavern on a train car, in inverted commas, but the engine is simply an Eastern dragon that sits atop of the train. It holds onto the wheels/tracks, using its legs to propel the car forward. Oh, like a skateboard, that's quite cute. Whilst blowing a small stream of fire into the bottom of the hearth that steams away with food being cooked inside. We see the hearth that is attached to the front of the train. The windows are partially open in the window to a bright interior where guests chat and mingle together whilst they eat. The assumed tavern owner is leaning out of the conductor's car, waving up at the dragon and tossing a giant dumpling towards it. The dragon is still supplying fire, but its eyes are wide open and focused on the dumpling. Ah, that's so cute. It's such a beautiful, that's such a beautiful image as well. I love the blue of the dragon on that in Eastern Dragon. Yeah, what a good bit of alt text as well. It's not too in detail about stuff. It's sort of describing the physical stuff of the scene. Maybe I would suggest maybe having like an Eastern dragon with blue scales, that sort of thing. But it's done a good job. This is clearly like someone's done the brief and given it over to the artist, and this is what it is. So, no, absolute top mark, sir. That's changed my view of it. Well done. That's always a big tick. And then we have gorgeous like sort of table of contents page here. It looks very much like a fantasy menu, I think. It says Stewpot, Tales from a Fantasy Tavern at the top. Each of these it's broken down into chapters. Each of these are hyperlinked through with obviously the page numbers there. The mini games take up quite a bit of it, which is good. And then we have like around like one of those beautiful like almost fairy tale borders. It feels very watercolor-esque, you know, very beautiful. And recipes at the bottom there. Oh, I wonder what that is. But it looks like all the table of contents is on one page. So the main chapters are Introduction, which has sort of safety, breaks and holds, so those safety tools there, big tick. Your Tavern, tavern ratings and advancement. Creating your characters, then playing the game, and then all these mini games and recipes. So obviously we'll do the introduction, naturally. We'll have a look at the tavern stuff, but we might skip over like advancements and stuff like that again. Maybe look a little bit at the characters. I want to see what playing the game is, because ultimately it's only 2 pages. Presumably it is like these mini games, right? And maybe we'll have a look at 1 or 2 mini games. But yeah, what the heck are these recipes? Can we make these recipes? I think I say this on a DM's book club coming out, or it is out. Actually, I think it's coming out today. I think it came out last week. I can't remember. We did. We basically were starting to go through Thay, the Land of the Red Wizards, and the book that we're looking at. It has suggestions for recipes in it about making food that is sort of inspired by what Thay is inspired. So a lot of Mediterranean and also Moroccan recipes in it. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, it's not really snacky food. It's actually meals and stuff. But I love the idea of like, here's some recipes you could do, and you eat them at the same time as you're playing the game. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of that immersion. And then what I've got here, another beautiful piece. Amazing. So it says here in terms of the alt text, a large built woman with a big bright smile full of jagged teeth stands at the door of her tavern, propping it open with her foot while she holds a large wooden bowl to her hip. Her other hand motions inside. Inside with a large hand-carved wooden ladle. She has 2 large bull-like horns, except one of them has been broken off to a blunt point, and balanced on top of it is atop is a tray full of mugs. All of them are pottery, handmade and mismatched, and various colours. Oh, that's so cute. The outside world feels cold and wet with the way the rain falls and how the night sets in, but inside of her establishment is warm and inviting. It really does look that as well, doesn't it? You got the light coming through there. I love this little detail of her balancing a tray on her horn. Oh, it's so delightful. Oh, and yeah, you can see, like, again, the scars around her face there and a little bit on her legs. Oh, that's so wholesome. Oh, God, I love this style. Again, this is the sort of thing that this one and the last one, actually, I would love these as little postcards to send to people, perhaps. Okay, and then we've got introduction. I will say I quite like how it's not... It's a slightly off-white cream colour, the background as well, which obviously makes it stand out a little bit. And then we've got almost like these oranges and greens as these sort of colours for the text. Like the oranges and greens to indicate the sections. Oranges here in the tables of contents are for the actual maybe like the rules, and then the green is the minigame. So that's like almost like the source of it. Quite like that. And then red looks like it's extras. I think would be the red there. And it moves on, and the font is quite beautiful. It's not. It's almost like slightly handwritten, but it's quite readable, which is really good, I think, as well. So easy to read aloud. And so it says introduction here, and at the top we've almost got this like little section header with like what I would call a La Croix pot. Le Creuset, not La Croix. La Croix is something different. And it says here, actually maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so people can see it. It was a few years after I left home. I was broke. I didn't have a steady party and I was failing most of my quests. Oh, I walked into this place that looked real run down, figuring it was cheap. I remember the moment I walked in, how warm it felt in there. There was a crackling fire with a huge pot hanging over it. I ordered soup because it's all I could afford, and the biggest bowl I'd ever seen in my life was set down in front of me with a whole loaf of bread too. I was halfway through the meal and flagging when one of the tavern keepers came and sat across from me. I got nervous, thinking there had been a mistake. When that didn't seem to be the case, I started feeling embarrassed that I wouldn't be able to finish the food. It was a relief when she started tearing off pieces of bread and dipping them in the soup. It was the first meal I'd eaten in a long time where I didn't feel so alone. Oh, so sad. But that's so cute. Again, the bonding of food make you feel and something you could share with other people. And this is quite cute as well. So clearly we're starting what Stewpot is, and they've got almost like, I know there's a phrase for it. Oh, hello Hogan, nice to have you here, friend. I can't remember what the actual verbiage of it is called, but it's those fairy tale like starting things that you always embellish the sort of initial first letter, which I love. It feels very fairy tale. You know the feeling all too well. Stumbling through a thick forest, living off stale rations, unable to get a full night's sleep. When you finally arrive at the next town, the tavern is where you find all the comforts of civilization that you've sorely missed. Your party has been adventuring for many years now. It's a tough job, and it only gets tougher as time goes on. Many adventurers end their travels early, and while some prefer a quiet retirement, others remain restless as they were during their prime. It's quite common for former adventurers to keep busy by running taverns where they offer shelter, food, and advice to the younger generation. And that's what you've decided to do together. Like an illuminated manuscript. Yes, I think that's what it is. The Lord Mistress. I think you've got it right. There's a certain... I know they have it in... like when monks used to copy Bibles and stuff, they always used to do that with like the stuff around the edges, like we have here, but also but the first letter as well. So, Stewpot, Tales from a Fantasy Tavern is a collection of mini-games that tell a story of a tavern run by former adventurers. It's about hanging up your weapons, selling off your armour, and integrating back into society. So what do we need? We've got tavern and character sheets or blank paper. Again, we can look at those in a little bit, actually. Writing utensils. Maybe it would be nice to have like form fillable stuff as well, but again, beggars can't be choosers. One or more six-sided dice, so it's a D6 system, a deck of cards, and a coin. And there you go. We've got a link there. Download character and tavern sheets from evilhat.com, and it just, I'm guessing it just takes us to evilhat.com. Amazing. Although it's taken a little while to load, which is interesting. I'm not too worried about it. Actually, whilst that's doing that, I will look at the character sheets. Let's have a look. Oh! They do come as digital fillable forms. That's amazing. I will do that instantly then. So there you go. That was me not checking. So yeah, we do have some fillable forms here. Look. Also, how beautiful are these tavern sheets? Look at the colours on these. Let me open the other one as well. Oh my god, these are beautiful. Sorry. They're so sweet. Let's see. So here on this character sheet, let me zoom out a little bit so people can see. So it's almost like it's as if it's been painted in some way or illustrated in some way, but these are form fillable. I can write in them. So at the top we have name, got pronouns, look, and then we have 3 boxes which are weapon, armor, and quirk. And it says adventurer's job and adventurer's experiences here. So again, presumably that's your role at the tavern, perhaps. Oh no, but maybe that's what you were before, right? And then you have 3 boxes to do experience. And it says town job and town experiences. So maybe this is like adventurer's job is probably what you did before, and then town's job is what you're doing currently, which is nice. And then over here on the right, you have keepsakes, which is, again, it just looks like a lot of boxes, so maybe your inventory as such. But so it doesn't seem like there's any, she says, modifiers, perhaps. Maybe it's that sort of thing, a bit like when we looked at the Discworld RPG, where it's like you could use bits of your background or whatever to justify getting more dice. That's what I'm getting from here. But what a beautiful character sheet. Very lovely. And then the tavern sheet as well. Again, I'll zoom out a little bit so people can see. Oh, it's 2 pages. Move out a little bit more. Whoop. There we go. So yeah, so here we've got the name of the tavern. Actually, this sort of box here would be a little bit bigger, so it looks like the tavern sign essentially. I don't mind that too much. I think that looks quite sweet. We have a box for a location, a look of it, and then we have on the right hand side names of NPCs, presumably people that come in and interact with your tavern. And then on the second sheet here we've got tavern ratings, which is cuisine, atmosphere, and service. That's what it's broken down to, and then some details there. And presumably, yeah, you can click on these and get this. Oh, a little tick. Oh, that's quite nice. They've got. Hang on, let me zoom in a little bit so people can see. Oh, that's zooming out. Move over to the side a little bit. Yeah. No, that's not it. There we go. So you can see it's like it ticks it for you. That's quite cute, isn't it? Oh. Nice. And so yeah, and then you start off quite like here it says cuisine, a cramped kitchen, plenty of stables but nothing fancy. And you could upgrade all the way to a splendid kitchen, good deals on ingredients and fresh deliveries, specialized tools. That's cute. Oh, these are really lovely. All right. Well, we'll see how far we get. And move this back. There we go. Safety, breaks, and holds. So Stewpot utilizes 2 safety tools built into the game, in addition to any you might wish. Even in a light-hearted game like Stewpot, I like how, again, they're like Stewpot, and they've, rather than make it in bold, it is in bold a little bit, but it's more italicized, which I think is quite good. So you know they're talking about the game. It is important to have them available. Player safety is more important than any idea you bring up in game. Preach, preach, preach. Taking a break. So it says here, after playing 3 mini-games, take a break before you start to wear and tear. Optionally, you can also call for a break after finishing any mini-game if anyone needs one. During the break, take 5 more minutes to clear your head. Everyone should step away from the play area or table. If you're playing online, get up, stretch, or walk about a bit. Grab food and water, and avoid thinking about the game whilst on break. After the break, players may ask each other about any changes to the story so far, or discuss story elements they would like to work towards in later minigames. I think this is really interesting, because I've noticed it a lot when I've been playing online. You absolutely, and I don't want to be that preacher, I'm not your mum, as it is, but I sometimes, when I'm producing, and you're given something to think about in, like, in the breaks, and people just sit there, and like, and I have to be like, I need you to get up and walk away for at least 30 seconds and grab some water, come back. Because then it just makes you move and it just stretches you out. Rather than if you're worrying about something in game or you're like, how are we going to do this? Just breaking that thing. And it's the same with any work things, right? You think of Pomodoro stuff, where it's like you work for, 25 minutes, break for 5, or you work for, I think it was 50 minutes and break for 10. Like, again, is that something where you should get up and move and do something else and just break it, unless you're like hyper fixated on something and you need to get it done. Like, I different things for different people, but I always think to myself, I work a lot better if I go away and do something and then come back. Because I might be thinking about something, and I'm like, how do I fix this? But going away and then coming back to it works. And also, there's absolutely gorgeous. Oh, there is. Haha. I was going to say, there is a little bit of alt text here. We've got a beautiful line drawing here. And it says, a plate of soup and fruits beside it. A plate of soup and the fruits beside it. A flat bread loaf of bread. Oh, a flat bread loaf of bread. Beside it, cut into squares with crumbs and spread over a wooden cutting board. A decorative knife slices through it, and then a piece of it sliding into the bowl. So there, we got it there. I like it. The decorative knife's quite interesting, isn't it? And you got a little bit of shadow there as well. Beautiful. And yeah, the filigree around the side is also very pretty. I like the line drawing. But again, I am just thinking about like what is the black and white version of this as well. Like again, the colours are beautiful stuff like that, but it's still readable, right? The sort of dark font is still readable against both this orange splash here and also the actual off cream stuff. Really got a nice palette here. I like it. Holds. So holds. Anyone can call for holds. Anyone can call for a hold at any time. Your group should agree on what gesture calls for a hold before starting the game. A gesture could be holding up a hand or a fist, placing a hand or a fist in the middle of the table, sending a message that says hold in your group chat for an online game, saying hold aloud, reacting to a message with emoji that your group has designated a hold symbol. When a player calls for a hold, all play should stop. When everyone at the table is ready, discuss what happened and work towards a solution. The person who initiated the hold should speak first, and players may take a break before starting the conversation. And don't be afraid to retcon or change anything that is needed. If anyone is no longer feeling comfortable playing the game for now, the game is over. There's always another time your fellow players come first. So, okay, so this is almost like a less severe, I guess, version of an X card, right? Because obviously X cards, they remove an element from play and you don't need to justify it, but you will need to, it will stop play, right? Here it's like, ooh, hold. And I think this is just a way that you can integrate any sort of safety tool, so that, hey, you know, like the traffic light system or anything like that, or pause, play, rewind, fast forward, all that sort of thing. I think that's good. I like it. It's fairly straightforward at hold. I also like how, again, it gives you permission to do it in different ways. So like saying it out loud is what I do, like sending it in chat is what I do. But I like the idea of just holding up your hand, especially if there's lots of communication going on, or putting it in the table. I like that a lot. Even the emoji thing is quite an interesting one. Again, it feels very current. I don't know how, I mean, will emojis be here in 10, 15 years time? Probably. But yeah. Oh, look at that image. Oh my goodness. So it looks like, let's read the alt text. A pair of siblings eat a bowl of noodles together. The taller and older, in brackets looks like 19 or so in appearance, of the two standing at full height with one of the hands tipping his bowl of soup into his mouth. Meanwhile, the younger one sits on the floor, his hair scruffed up by his brother whilst he shoves noodles into his face, with his face scrunched up. How wholesome. No, God. Oh, look at this. Another beautiful splash image. Like a giant turtle there. It's slightly different art styles as well. I'll check it in a second, the illustrators. So it says here, and sweet looking tavern? A sweet looking tavern, as a typo in the alt text. In the style of an Indonesian home, like below, sits atop an old and calm looking mega tortoise. A younger man leaning out of a restaurant-style window at the side of it, his hand waving out in greeting. The window otherwise leaking a sparkling stream, assuming that smells so good. So yeah, I see. Well, at home, I guess. Oh, we're looking at it, I guess, from the top, right? Ah, interesting. I love the greens on this. This looks so beautiful. And you've got the greens and you've got the oranges here on the leaves. Beautiful. Oh, hey, Erin Jones. Nice to have you here. Alright, so that's the first chapter. So far, I'm really liking it. Let's look at your tavern then. So this is the next one. And again, I like how these chapters are split up with, like, it's a different colour page. That's nice. And I guess it's split up with the image as well. So, again, you'd see it as a 2-page spread. So that's quite nice. So it says here, why are you always sketching in that journal? Oh, it's inspiration. You wouldn't expect you to get it. Rude? For what? That's a table. Yeah, and it's really sturdy, and the colour of the stain is nice and calming. And it's octagonal, but the corners are rounded off so no one gets hurt when they get thrown in. Well, not hurt badly at least. Hopefully. You're still set on that tavern thing, huh? You said you'd help. I did. I will. Promise. Oh, nice. It's almost like a snatch. They're sort of like snatches of, like, coming up to building your tavern. That's good. What are you reading, by the way? Oh, so, Erin, this is our first, well, this is a stream where we call Too Long Didn't Read TTRPGs. So we're reading TTRPGs as an accountability thing. I usually do it every week. And this one is called Stewpot, which is a TTRPG which is about running a fantasy tavern as a retired adventurer. I've put a link there in the chat so you can have a look at it. The evil, so you can follow along at home if you would like. But yeah, just reading it through and seeing what we like and what we dislike about it. That's what a stream. So sorry, lol, your stream just got randomly suggested to me. I don't know, so what are you reading? No, it's okay, Erin. I'm glad to have you here. Basically our thing is all role-playing games. So we like look into role-playing games, what we like about them, what we would improve about them. That's the kind of the vibe of the stream, and I run a couple of bits and pieces on it. Happy to have you along. Okay, so moving on then. So your tavern and the area around it are the cornerstones of your game. Your adventurers will be living and working here, and they take time off and join festivals and other events in town, working together to create a place you're excited to play in. So here we've got locations. So I guess if we go back to our character sheets, zoom out a little bit, Fiona. So I assume it's going to go through the character sheets a little bit. So that's quite cool. Alright, location then. So do you want to compete with other taverns in a bustling city? Or do you want a little stop in the wilderness, the only place to stay in a small town? As a group, decide the size and the scale of your town or city. And then each player provides one detail about the city or the surrounding areas. This reminds me of... I'm going to have to look it up now. I think I've said before on this channel, I'm a big fan of Becky Chambers. And she has a new novel out about... No, it's called A Psalm for the Wild Built, which is a series of punk novellas, solo punk novellas, but it's all about tea, and it has this idea of somebody who goes through town to town as like a tea merchant, and will sit down and will invite people to come to their tavern, as it were, and talk about their issues and problems, and then they will make them a cup of tea, and they will, and it's a way to make them feel better. And it's almost similar to, now that I think about it, there was a game we played called The Last Tea Shop, which is like a solo game. It's like a tea shop on the on the brink of life and death. So when people start to pass over, you can listen to their things and give them a tea and help them on their way. And that was such a great game. I really enjoyed that. That's what it reminds me of. Just thinking about like location. It could be somewhere physical, like you could be rooted down, or maybe you can go. If it's a moving one, like if you've got a train, that'd be quite cool. There's some examples here. We've got connected tree houses, floating in water or the air, carved into a cliff. That sounds quite fun. Over deep canyons, crisscrossing bridges. That sounds terrifying. Giant murals, flowers covering walls and buildings. That's very cool. Erin says, so you do game streams as well, right? So what type of games do you mostly play in genre? Great question. So I don't tend to do lots of live streams here. I'm part of the RP Geeks. Let me do that plug now before I forget. Where we do lots of different TTRPG systems, and our USP is like getting an interesting fact. We've just done Blades in the Dark, which is like a grim, dark fantasy heist kind of game. We do lots of different things. Here on my channel, though, I run lots of different RPGs because I like looking at different systems. One that we're doing now on podcast is Savage Worlds, for example, which uses our a unique setting that we made for it, and it's about 6 episodes long. I also do interviews with game designers and stuff. I love playing lots of different games. I tend not to stream them. I tend to mostly, when I do stream, it's usually these sort of things. We're looking at different RPGs, and ultimately, at the end of it, when we go what we like and what we dislike, what we could improve about it, I do wonder, like, would I run this for content? Would I run this for friends? All that sort of thing. So we do lots of different things there. But RP Geeks is the one that we do lots of different RPG systems on. Like, if you want to look at actual play stuff, like I said, I've got a podcast as well. I can't even do that. Basically Grandad. Oh, hello, Basically Grandad. The Savage World story is brilliant and full of tears. Must listen with hankies. Oh, thank you, Basically Grandad. That's such a kind thing to say. We'll be back, I think, this Sunday with the next episode as well. Yeah, we had a break recently because we had an interview come up. But I'm glad you're liking it. No spoilers. It's going to get a lot worse. I'm glad you're liking it, though. Thank you for that. And then we've got some examples here of environment as well. So we've got deserts listed around enormous bones. Oh, that'd be quite cool to have like a tavern on top of, like, in a skull, perhaps. That's one thing there. There's just one here. It's humid. Oh god, it sounds awful. Megafauna. I mean, that's what we had a little bit with that. here with the giant tortoise, huh? Didn't we? Oh, I love that little emoji there. Basically, Grandad, that's great. Okay, and then we go on to what our look is. So what does your tavern look like? Be it a general or as specific as you like. What interests you about a building? What draws your eye? And there's some examples there. What I do like, if I zoom out a little bit so people can see, is that it uses a lot of the space here. And obviously, you've got a bit of space here, but like, it feels like we're not, like, ultimately this all could be on one page, right? But then it would feel very crowded. I think it's quite nice that you could open it up and give it to other people, right? You could give it to other people can read it. It feels almost like a recipe book in a way. It feels very well laid out. And again, I love the oranges and sort of the little browns here to indicate like headings and whatnot. Look at this little creature down here. How cool. Name. Don't spend too long on this one. Oh, the feeling here of trying to name anything. I agree. Feel free to come back to it if you're stuck, and remember you can always change it if you come up with something new during play. You can always come up with a symbol or an emblem to go with the name. A chip paint sign outside really completes the look. And so here they've got examples of the Old Bell Tavern, the Rose Without Thorns, the Boar Hat, Fortune's Rest, Fair Weathers. And I'm going to read the alt text here. It says, a small were-person, Moonbear, oh that's so cute, stands atop a rickety-looking ladder. An amputee whose left arm's holding a prosthetic... sorry, oh, it's so small, the alt text. A prosthetic is holding a palette covered in various paints. I didn't even notice that. That's so cute. They paint a sign with the medieval type font that reads Teddy's Stuffing and features an image of a little bear with a big full belly. They are wearing an apron covered in various paint and food stains, a brush in their other hand, and a painting bucket balanced over the top of their ladder. Wait, painting bucket balanced on the top of their ladder. Yeah. Sorry, it's disappeared. The scene should feel bright, sunny, and like new beginnings for the other retired adventurer. For an otherwise retired adventurer. There's also, it didn't really describe the person underneath there, I will say, but it's so cute. I like that a lot. And Teddy's Stuffing is a great one. Stewpot, tavern ratings. Okay, so we actually are flying through this quite fairly quickly, which is good. Again, because maybe it's been that time to give it a proper layout and stuff, whereas maybe this could have been without the art or anything like that. Maybe it's only 50 pages or something. Who knows? So your tavern becomes larger and more well known as you improve its tavern ratings, and these ratings determine the quality of different aspects of your tavern, as well as the dice you roll in certain games. Oh, okay. You start off in 1 point in each rating. So here we've got the 3 ratings are cuisine. So your cuisine rating determines your tavern's ability to make food. It includes your skill at cooking food, food storage, relationships with suppliers, and more. And then you've got all the way up to 4 there, as we sort of described before. Then we have atmosphere. So your atmosphere rating, and again here it sort of changes it to be like, this is a game term, which is quite good. Determines the experience patrons have at your tavern. The smells, the decorations, and the chatter of folks eating at tables all around you are all part of the atmosphere. God, could you imagine if you had bad chat at your tavern? I'd rate it a 4 out of 5, but I'm going to dock you a star because there's some bad banter happening at the local tavern, at the local table even. The higher your rating gets, the more comfortable your tavern becomes. A higher rating may also mean offering unique experiences not found at other taverns. Hey, by the way, I come over here to ask if you need a video editor, thumbnail designer, or digital artist of any kind of work, or if you need in the future, or we can get connected on somewhere. Oh, Erin, that's very kind of you, but I do not need that. I do all my own stuff, but I very much appreciate the things. What you say, I could show you. Yeah. Erin, thank you very much. That's very kind of you, but I am okay. I do all my own work. But I hope you find someone that will give you some work. Thanks very much, though. And here at the bottom, we've got the interior of a tavern. It says here on the, I think it says, interior of a tavern should feel open, sunny, warm. Should show a window on the one side, letting in bright rays of light. A cozy setting on either side of the page. Left is a sitting area. Right features a cooking area. Bar. Please replace any oven or back bar area with a large cooking light. That's more that's more sort of notes for the person than anything else. It's very nice. But it's nice that they're put on both sides of it as well. Oh, no problem, Erin, it's fine. Service. Your service rating is a measure of how well your tavern operates. Is the food getting out quickly or to the right tables? Are the beds clean and comfy? Your service rating also determines the caliber and amount of people you can afford to hire. Every time you gain a point in your service rating, you create a new NPC employee as one of the many new hires. Come up with one or use one of the examples listed. Oh, nice. We've got a few prompts there as well. I guess the only thing I'd say just off that, I'd like to have like a... If you're creating NPCs, I'd love to see a prompt table or an NPC there. I left you a sub and I'll join you later. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you, Erin. Tavern advancement. Oh, okay, we've moved on to that. Okay, great. Your tavern starts off small and kind of shabby, but with hard work and more than a little luck, you hope to become a home away from home for all adventurers passing through. As you play mini games, time passes. Your characters become better at running the tavern, and the word spreads. And then we've got some examples here. It says here, a representation of NPC sheet and how to fill it. Nice, very beautiful. And oh god, that sheet is beautiful, I will say. After every third minigame, take a break to check in. Then play Wear and Tear to increase one of your tavern's rating by 1 up to a maximum of 4. So I wonder if it's Wear and Tear, I guess that is a minigame, right? You can also choose to play Wear and Tear on your turn to increase a tavern's rating by 1. This resets the timer to play Wear and Tear every 3 minigames. Yeah, okay, that's fair, makes sense. You can also increase a tavern's rating instantly by succeeding in the Festival Day or Distinguished Guest minigames. This does not reset the timer to play Wear or Tear. If you play Homegrown, your cuisine rating gains a bonus point during the next playthrough of Wear and Tear. Okay. Each time a tavern's rating increases, a player may describe a new detail or feature for the tavern. Nice. I guess the only thing I'd say about this is that now we've got like a couple of rules or a couple of bits and pieces that are like, whoa, I hope this is repeated throughout, and maybe it's understandable why you'd have it here as you're reading it through. But it's like, okay, there's a few other optional things here, or at least like things to keep in mind if you're playing those games for Wear and Tear. So I think I would just make sure, maybe I'd even bullet point it so it's easy to find. I don't know. Oh my goodness, pastries! It's got another big splash art image here, and it says, a character has long hair in 2 braids down their back that ends in loops. Doesn't end in a loop. A green short cloak that looks nearly like it's made of moss. Around the shoulders. Looks through a bakery case filled with multiple choices for different kinds of pastries. Each baked good is decorated and or shaped to signify different kinds of character jobs, and the character in question is pointing at one of them. One signifying the druid, whilst their large hair familiar looks eagerly on their shoulders whilst perched on what looks eagerly on with them perched on the top of their shoulders. Oh, that's so cute. It's not fully accurate, I think. I just feel like this is the design note that's gone through and it's not been edited at all. But look at the colours on these things. At the top here, we look like we've got some baked donut. Oh, look at that. There's almost like gemstones. The sweet gemstones. They're gorgeous there. God, it's making me hungry indeed. But it's quite cute, isn't it? Oh, very cute indeed. Creating your characters. God, I'm steam rolling through this. Creating your characters. So it says here, autumn leaves and rusted blade, dented shields and flickering flame. Warrior, what is your fate? Tattered robed and crumbling stone, ragged breath and broken bow. Warrior, where will you go? Aching scars and restless nights, the cold inside your bones. Hands so skilled at taking life must learn to help it grow. Oh, I like that. Again, maybe I'd use that as like an introduction to a game, just like as a sort of way to talk about. I've been editing recently a game that's coming out on podcast for which is the Babes in the Wood, which again is that sort of fairy tale like thing, and I start each sort of session with like a little poem, and so I always quite like that. I'm a big fan about having poems and whatnot. Your characters are the heart of the tavern. You keep the kitchen running and the fires roaring, the beds made and the tables clean. To make your character, you need a few things. We need a name, the most important of all things, a look, in brackets weapon, armor and quirk, an adventurous job, 3 adventurous experiences, and a town job. And as you play, you'll also write down keepsakes. Dead straightforward in terms of character creation. It goes into a bit more detail here. So a name, your character's name can be given, chosen, or something else. In addition to your character's true name, some characters might have a nickname that their co-workers or regulars use instead. Again, would be nice if there's like a random table perhaps. I'm always a big fan of those things to come up with names. Whether you use them or not is completely different, but I always quite like that. And then you got look. So your character can look like anything, but their clothes, the things they carry, and how they move through the world reveals their past. What parts of being an adventure still show? What have they worked to change? Here we go. Come up with your own details or choose one weapon, armor, and quirk from the table. So look at this there. We've got a table. Excellent. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Not a D12. I can't roll a D12. I guess on a 12 you re-roll, right? That's probably what it's going to say to you. And what we've got a mask for armor. We've got a simple saber, a crossbow covered in unknown mechanisms. That's quite cute. What have we got for quirks? One hand hidden under the cloak, hair cut short with a knife, a smile that doesn't reach your eyes, sleeping with one eye open, perfectly straight posture. Gleaming smile. I think I'd like a few more bits and pieces, perhaps for quirks. That'll be nice. Basically, Grandad says 12 is an explosion. 2 of them. Oh, great. You have 2 weapons. You have 2 twin dual daggers. You have 4, like General Grievous, you know. General Kenobi. Could you imagine if Jedis and Knight Errants did like a tavern? Jobs and experiences. When you create your character, pick an adventurous job and a town job. Pick 3 adventurous experiences, but no town experiences yet. Characters can have the same jobs or experiences. Some of the experiences in a job don't make sense for your character. If some of the experiences don't make sense, create your own appropriate experiences or borrow from other jobs. Your jobs represent roles or activities you took on as an adventurer and what you do now in town. I mean, I predicted that a little bit, didn't I? Sorry, I've completely lost down in town. They're a bit like classes or playbooks you might find in other games. Your experiences are special skills, training, feats, knowledge, etc. you've accumulated from your time as an adventurer or living in town. Worthy of this ale you are not. And OJ you will drink, young Padawan. Very good. Very, very good. Yes, you don't see that in The Mandalorian, do you? Or the I've been watching a little bit of Andor. Andor would be completely different if they all set up in a tavern, wouldn't they? No spoilers. I would say no spoilers, please. I am slowly catching up. I am enjoying it for now. Would have really changed Rogue One, huh? You've accumulated from your time. As you play minigames, you will use experiences to overcome obstacles. When you use an adventure experience, cross it out. At the end of that minigame, you'll gain a town experience in exchange. When an experience is crossed out, it doesn't disappear. It served you well at one point. It might be hard to see yourself as someone that doesn't do that anymore, but you don't need it here, so you can put it away. That's quite interesting. Briefly describe how you let go of that adventurous experience and how your time in town helps you gain this town experience. Oh, here we go. We've got some examples here. Okay, so what kind of adventurous jobs do we have here, friends? We have a paladin, a wizard, a fighter, rogue, druid, bard, ranger, the famous squashbuckler. I guess maybe you've got fighter. There's no sorcerers there. Or spellcaster of some sort. Wizard? A wizard is there, sorry. No warlocks. Warlocks would never settle down, I think that's what they're saying. I think artificer would have been good. A hunter, perhaps? I don't know. You go see Revenge of the Sith at the cinema or something. Random Grievous appearance on the screen. Would you like an ale? The soup of the day is Padawan. Town jobs. Oh, hang on, I haven't got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we've got 8 adventurous jobs, so you can roll a d8, I guess, if you wanted to do that. Yeah. I think it would be nice to have a few more, but of course maybe there's licensing issues there perhaps. I'd actually think about it, like if you go to Monster of the Week, you know, you have like the Chosen One and all that sort of thing, maybe you could take something from there perhaps. Anyway, what is it? Town job, we've got farmer, we've got healer. Oh yeah, we don't have cleric on the other one, do we? Oh. I guess because they would probably be at the church still, right? They'd be at the temple, they wouldn't be running a tavern. A chef, a poet, merchant, crafter, scholar, lookout, apothecary, and hunter. Oh, we've got hunters on both, I see. I said, what? How cute is this little board here? So it says here in the alt text, overgrown with moss, ivy, and mushrooms, job listing board with each paper listing seeking position type poster. Oh, one for farmer, healer, chef, poet, merchant, crafter, scholar, lookout, apothecary, hunter. Oh, I see, because you've got little signs on them. That's quite cute. Poet seeking there. Each poster depicting a little symbol that might represent each job. Examples below. This must be the art brief that got sent to the artist, which again is totally fine, but they've not edited it out after. The board itself should look naturalistic and rustic. Whoever made this didn't bother to fully shave the bark off the wood or get the planks entirely straight. Lazily lounging on the top is a calico cat, munching constantly on a fish-shaped loaf of bread. Taiyaki. Oh, it's a certain type of I believe Japanese bread. That's so cute. Oh, I like that a lot. I think that's quite cute. Does look like the styles are a little bit different, right? It looks a bit more high res, these images here of the job listing. I wonder if it's two artists that have been put together. You know what, let's have a... Sorry, we're on page 27 now. Let me go... I want to look at the credits. So, got all these beautiful interior artists there. Cover artists there. Ilemi. So yeah, maybe there's a combination of stuff there. But I like it a lot. I think it looks really, really nice. Oops, sorry, moving. Oh, sorry, I've moved ahead slightly, and now we've see characters. I see. Okay. Adventurer jobs and experiences. So it breaks up into this as well. Oh, and we've got another beautiful. Again, that's a big image. Sorry, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see. This image is taking up a whole chunk here, and then it going into like clearly tables or stuff to give you armor, etc. from each of the adventurers jobs. But I feel like that's a little bit of not using the space as well as it could do compared to previously. Anyway, what's the... If I zoom in a little bit, maybe I can get a good... So it says here in terms of the alt text for this image, a big beefy brown skinned man paladin character in brackets human is turned away from the camera but looks backwards over their shoulder to smile at the wizard, a mouse folk. He sports a big dark beard with two white streaks going down it. I can't quite see that, but sure, I'll believe you. His face covering a healthy blush, and he wears an apron lined with nice cotton lace. I can see the apron, I do like that a lot. The paladin wears typical serving/tavern clothing, but the ear that is visible has an earring cuff that ends in what looks like a shield piece. Kind of? Question mark. His arm outstretched to hang a large cleaving sword on the wall above a storage chest. At the storage chest is the wizard who's putting a satchel of magical spell components away in the chest. Herbs, crystals, potion bottles spilling out, etc. The wizard wears the signature pointed hat, but also a blue flower pattern Chenonsam, I want to say. Very beautiful. Yeah, I think it gives you the... Again, oh no. Camera, right? Well, I think so. It's, I think, like, hey, first of all, great that we've got alt text. I feel it needs a little bit... I clearly just gone, here's my notes, which I've said, like, you could easily do that, but you do need to maybe think about it, like, if they don't make sense, like, see below, I'm like, what is below? There's nothing below, you know. I do like the colours of this one. And having a mouse folk as a rat sounds quite fun. Yeah, I love I was going to say dressing gown, the apron, the sort of like... it's almost like it's supposed to be at odds, right, with this great gruff person, but then they're wearing an apron. I like it. It's very Disney-fied. And they look comfortable and they look happy as they're putting stuff away in this box. Okay, so now what we have is these tables for the different adventurous jobs and stuff to you get from them. So I'll read out the first one. It says Paladin. It says Guidance, a sign from your deity. Holy Armor, which is divine protection. Healing Touch, which is treat wounds. Smite, destroy the unholy. Taunt, draw your enemies towards you. Right. I wonder if... So... Are these your experience? These are your experiences, right? So you could pick 3 of these experiences and put it into your thing. So it's not your armor, it's not your look or quirk. These are just stuff that you can use as your experiences. I see. Then we've got wizard, we've got fighter, rogue. So I'm just going to zoom through these because we don't need to read them all out. Druid, bard, ranger, and of course the swashbuckler. And then it goes on to town experiences. I think the only thing I'd say, again, they look very pretty, these tables. They are quite nicely laid out. I do wonder if you can get 3 on a page, or maybe even 4 on a page, but maybe you lose then the readability of it. So we've got, what, 7 in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we do have 8. Yes, sorry, I was thinking the 12 wasn't I? Okay, maybe not then. If you can't get 4 on a page, I think it'd be quite tricky to do that, to make it unreadable. I just think there's a little, I feel there's I don't know. It's easy to find it, I guess. That's the thing there. Alright, now we go on to town jobs and experiences. I thought we weren't going to get experiences. And maybe you get this, that's it. Maybe once you play the minigame, this is what you get as a thing. Right, maybe that's what it is. So there, we've got another little image at the top here, and it says, the masculine paladin character, in brackets human, is now towards the reader, smiling at the wizard, in brackets mousefolk, who is turned away from the reader and carrying a big backpack of large harvest vegetables. The paladin now wears cooking clothing, an apron with cooking utensils in the pockets, but the ear that is visible has an ear cuff that ends in what looks like a shield piece. We had that last time. The wizard still wears the signature pointed hat, but now has changed into farming clothes instead. So there you go. I like I guess these are the characters, and actually we can see the beard here a little bit more, the sort of streaks of white in them. It looks very anime, doesn't it? Very Studio Ghibli. Alright, I'm going to move... we'll read the farmer one at the top and then we'll go through them. So, farmer, we get these experiences. So you get, as a town experience, we've got preservation, so make food taste better and last longer. Weather vane, predict the weather for a few days in advance. Bounty, your harvests are large and exquisite. Handler, which is caring for and communicating with animals. Home remedies, which is unconventional solutions. Yes, so I guess these experiences, they are vague enough, but also like give you something, right? They sort of bounce off a little bit, so that's quite good. Yes, I guess that you have 5 for each, because presumably once you've crossed off 3 of your adventurous experiences to gain for the town one, you become a townsfolk. That's the end of the game. That's what I'm predicting here. Chef here's a clean cut is mince, dice, chop, slice. Oh, poet, spin straw into gold, which is telling enchanting stories. That's from Rumpelstiltskin. I like that. Parable, a lesson for every situation. That could be quite fun. Like, how do you gain something from that and giving that sort of creativity to the players? Very good. Alright, and then it goes to keepsakes. So keepsakes are items, trinkets, ephemera, great word, and other physical reminders of the relationships between your characters. They can be a wide range of things, tickets to a show, a funky little clay guy you find at the market, a necklace made out of a shard of an old weapon, a cookbook you hunted down that you think your friend would really like, a dried flower, a basket that you could toss back and forth filled with baked goods, or a wooden spoon you carved. Some of the minigames mention keepsakes directly, usually at the end. Most of them don't, and a few of them are indirect. If something comes up in game and feels right, please write it down. So yeah, again, we're having that not Wander Home, Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, right? It is very much that sort of vibe of like keepsakes and unlocking things and having physical things on that. So that's quite nice. I like it. And then we've got, oh, look at that, more filled out version of a catchy, I will say. That's quite funny. Oh, is there no alt text for this one? No alt text for this one. Oh, that's a shame. They were doing so well. I will say, the writing, so I'll describe it. It's a character sheet. It's a more filled-in character sheet of like all the bits and pieces. I will say the font they've used for like writing is like very beautiful, but it's very small. And with the character sheet as it is, I'm thinking if I just type in, let me see. I mean, it's not too bad. But I know if I was writing it, I definitely would be 1 or 2 words, right? Happy hoarding, folks, absolutely. But yeah, you can see like if I go back to that, I could never write that cleanly as my own handwriting. It'll be like nimble fingers. That's all it is. It looks very beautiful. You know what? It's very bullet journal, isn't it? Which I have mad respect for when people do bullet journals, because I do like 1 or 2 cool spreads and then I go, can't keep this up. I can't hide myself. I have to be me, and spider scroll everywhere. Oh, look at this beautiful image. Oh, isn't this cracking? Let's see. This does have alt text on it. So a tavern sits at the bottom of the ocean, frequented by mermaids and shark folk, coral growing out of on the outside and made from various ocean floor items. Outside of it are hung little floating flags, all woven from various seaweeds and dyed fun colours. Ah, you know, those dyed fun colours. I see it there. Oh, it's so cute. Oh yeah, sorry, I thought that was a bit on my screen then. It's not. Oh, get that alt text back. Curling around the side of the building and receiving what looks to be like a giant to-go order of food inside the clamshells is a regular human riding atop of a whale shark, obviously enchanted with some kind of water-breathing magical item that's allowed them to travel here. They look like a typical adventurer. That's cute. Oh, I like, again, you can't necessarily see that it's a clamshell or something, but I like that. I think that's quite fun. The colours of it is very beautiful. Interesting that this alt text does feel like it's been like written for us, the audience, to be like, here's the alt text, whereas all the others, the ones previously with like sort of the splash, not the splash art, the illustrated spot ones weren't necessarily. So I thought that was quite funny. Playing the game, excellent. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So when the bowl was finally empty, the tavern keeper told me she was an old adventurer. She had endless stories. I told her I was mostly on my own right now, and she told me it took 5 or 6 years to find her party. They were inseparable for 20 years, and when they finally settled down, they started this tavern together. One of them left to travel, and one of them passed a few years back. But the other 2 came over in between helping guests and shared their own stories. We talked until the tavern was empty. She looked at the wear of the grip on my sword and said I'd been holding my index fingers too tight. She even scolded me for sharpening and oiling the blade, for not sharpening and oiling the blade enough. When I admitted I didn't have a place to stay that night, she let me sleep at the tavern, bedroll spread out in front of the hearth. Oh, sorry. As I got ready to leave the next morning, I noticed the busted rivet on my armour had been fixed. Oh, that's so wholesome. There was a bag full of rations in my pack too. Oh, catobal pass cheese? Giant scorpion jerky and a few beautiful apples and a sticky little pouch of candied chestnuts. Oh, it's hard to say if that night was the reason I kept adventuring. Maybe it wasn't, but I always remember how she'd helped me. Oh, how wholesome is that? So this obviously is connected to that initial like introductory little piece at the beginning. Maybe it would have been nice to have that story continue throughout. I feel like maybe it was trying to do that, but then we'd had the poem, and then we had the other 2, like almost like a back and forth, like talking about it. So maybe they don't fit in here, but I like the ending to the story. That's quite sweet. Anyway, once we have created the tavern and your characters, everyone starts with the first step minigame. Then take turns choosing other minigames to play. Invite other players often and come up with your own prompts or scenes if the listed examples don't feel quite right. After completing a minigame, write down any keepsakes and check to see if anyone wants to take a break. Otherwise, the next player chooses a minigame. Every 3 minigames, take a break. When you return, play Wear and Tear and upgrade the tavern. The first step and In the Rhythm of Things are only played as the first and last minigames and cannot be chosen on your turn. Interesting. And we've got that food thing there, so it goes, let's see, that alt text says, the most delicious looking bowl of curry you've ever seen. Fluffy rice, beautiful vegetables, a rich sauce, and and served inside a squash. On the side of the bowl there are 2 cracked and marinated eggs with nice jammy scented yolks, sprinkled with chunky salt. Oh. Outside of the eggs are scaled like a dragon's. Oh yes they are, aren't they? Oh, very nice. Oh, another image here. A classic hearth setup with a woman tending to it. We see her side profile with a spatula in hand and a crossed out set of swords set of swords atop the mantle. Well, that's not true. We've got 1 sword there. And her face sporting an eye patch on one side. Well, we can't necessarily see that necessarily. Again, not a problem at all. It's just like you need to update. This is clearly a note that's sent, and then they've gone, oh, we like this better. And yeah, that's fine, but you need to update what the alt text is because that's not true. And it says here, ending the game. When every player has exchanged all their adventure experiences for town experiences, play in the Rhythm of Things minigame to conclude the story of your tavern. After the hard work of getting your tavern up and running, your adventurers could probably use with some rest. All games come to an end, and hopefully you can walk away from Stewpot knowing your adventurers have settled down comfortably. Maybe the sword's grumpy. maybe, basically, Grandad. Oh, what a beautiful image. These places are so nice. Although, I don't know if I would want to sit out in this massive river here, but let's read what it says. A tavern next to a stream, a gigantic koi fish swimming through the waters as people sit at tables that are half submerged. The tavern itself is warm and lively, the familiar steam of a chimney pot pouring out whilst people eat outside. No, I can't see that, personally. The upper trees are full of cherry blossom flowers. Some of them are floating through the air and touching onto the water below. Overall, peaceful and serene vibes. I agree with that. That's quite sweet. Yeah, again, just a little bit of updates, but like the colours of these cherry blossoms are gorgeous. You know what it reminds me of? There's a pub in the UK that always gets flooded, and people always sit outside in the flood. They'll come with the water and they'll sit, and I think it's bonkers. Like you can just see these people with Guinnesses and they go, and yeah, normally they've got their waders on or something. I can't remember what the name of the pub is. There's some beautiful, like the individuals we have here. We've got like what looks to be a dragon folk person. I want to say like an orc person that they're talking to, maybe eating some sushi there. I can see, and then this person here has got like a full-on, I want to say a monk's outfit perhaps because it's like one piece. But then they've got this beautiful like patterned fabric at the back. Maybe it's where their pack was or something. It's just very nice. All right, we've got mini games which has gone to green now. So this is like, here's the main bulk of the book itself. So it says here, you need to eat. I'm not hungry. I thought the whole point of opening this place was a good meal and a full night's sleep. And I know the second part of that isn't happening tonight, so all right, fine. It was hard to get that stew down. Nothing to do with Aileen's cooking. I was just too nervous. We had to sit on the front steps so I would stop fretting about every little detail inside. We stayed like that for a while, watched the sun go down. Lanterns were lit and then blown out, and we saw the stars so clearly that night. At some point, I finally nodded off with my head on Anan's shoulder. Hey, it's time, sleepyhead. Oh, God, I'm so sore. Why did we do this? Well, because I'm an anxious mess and you're a huge softie. Come on, let's get some breakfast. And we've been here ever since. Wholesome vibes, eh? This is a reference for all the mini-games that make up Stewpot, with a short summary for each one. Each mini-game also has a suit symbols next to the title that indicate the type of gameplay involved. Oh, that's quite good. Again, very similar to Yazeba's, isn't it? Games that are good intro picks after the first step. We've got like a little potato. Oh, no, there's a bit of alt text there. It says, a bean representing games that are good intro picks after the first step. That's what we mean by having icons. Oh, so not only do we have that in the text, but we also have it here. Oh, you probably can hear the mower outside. That's good. Then it says here there's a leaf representing games with core mechanics or a unique structure. Then we've got a pumpkin representing games that are mainly prompts for free play roleplay. Nice. And then we've got a little pot that represents games that let you upgrade the tavern. Nice. 3 different categories. Love it. So let's see. The first step. We'll go through all of them, I think. Oh, no, sorry. We'll go through the first step at least. I want to look at wear and tear. And we'll just go from there, I think. So the first step is, what were you doing before you decided to put down roots here? What's the first thing you learnt about how to live in the town? And that one's got freeform roleplay, and that's on 52. Then we've got NPC side quest. Your venturing days may be over, but there are plenty of people in town that could use your help. Wear and tear, so that's one we're going to look at. A fleeting moment. Shields and skillets. Enchantments are volatile things, especially when they sit unused for long periods. You have to let go of your old equipment before it's too late. Market day. Homegrown. Shelter from the storm. Sliced. Romancing a stranger. Oh, interesting. I guess the only thing I'd say with that, maybe we need to have a check-in about romance and whatnot with players. A friendly tavern brawl. Festival day. A bard's tale. Glass of... Oh, was Festival day, was that the last one? Can't remember if it was the last one or not. In the Rhythm of Things, that's what it was. Time passes, river edges are sanded down. Before you know it, life in the town has become like breathing. Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? Alright, well, we'll definitely look at... The three that will definitely come up, right? So we'll look at first step, wear and tear, and then in the Rhythm of Things. I think that makes sense. Oh gosh, what another beautiful image. So the alt text says, central half in the centre of the tavern centre page. An old man, fighter, speaking to a younger adventurer, a ranger, whilst the two of them pull noodles together next to steaming away giant stew pot full of delicious soup. All around the hot pot, in the centre are smaller trays of plentiful food, vegetables, meats cut into thin slices, sauces and spices in little jars with lids. Everything is on cute and electric trays. The swashbuckler walks by, dropping off more vegetables for the two of them in her apron, and with a tray of ales in her other hand. Framing the corner of the piece, the lower right, is a bunch of plates stacked with food, bottles and cutlery, etc. Oh, this looks like a delightful place to eat, to be honest. Look at that massive hot pot there. That looks divine, I will say. Pulling noodles and whatnot. Really cool. Again, very evocative, and you can see like the steam coming off there as well. It looks like each of these mini games are 2 pages as well, so it's self-contained in that sort of sense. I quite like that. So, the first step to this, our first mini game. What were you doing before you decided to stay in this town? What was the first thing you learnt about life after adventuring? So the setup is that everyone plays. Every character gains 1 town experience. Take turns describing a short scene that led to the experience. Other characters can be in your scene, but they won't gain the same experiences. And so we've got some example ones here. It's like a town person you helped once welcomes you back. They become your mentor of sorts, passing on their skills. A merchant offers you a good price for some of your adventuring gear. The children in the town take a liking to you. They pester you for more stories. Oh, I see. So all of it is role-playing prompts, sorry. Let's do a couple on this page. You've been practicing your cooking and finally feel confident enough to invite some friends over for dinner. Oh. You've been sharing all the tips and tricks you picked up and taking care of injuries on the road with people in the town. And then there's another alt text here. Oh, it says in tan skin. Oh, probably Anne tan skin, lithe elven woman holds up the skirt of her apron she's been gifted to display out intricate but slightly messy embroidery work on the bottom hem. Okay, somebody should have gone through, like, again, maybe the person writing the briefs, maybe English isn't their first language, which is, again, totally fine, but it does feel a bit chunky, like, oh, trying to get through it. She looks down at the work, appreciatively, a large grin over her face. Under one of her arms is an open gift box, with the ribbon hanging down and the lid teetering on top. Well, that's, not true, it's here. Again, they've gone, well, we want to set this person somewhere, let's put her in the kitchen, and then the box is here on the top, and you can see some spice bottles and whatnot. Alright, moving forward to... Where's the wear and tear? Oh, look, another beautiful image there. That's quite cute. Oh, I'll pass it for now. Okay, wear and tear. Ah, it's on a pink background. Okay, to indicate it's important. There's always something to fix, clean, or pay off. In the setup, anyone can play. As a group, decide what parts of the tavern need fixing and touching up, and what you're adding to the tavern. After playing this minigame, you may increase one of the tavern's ratings. So, and Then it goes working together. Each player character describes what they're working on. So it says here, ask another player character for help. Describe how you combine one of your experiences into one of theirs for greater effect. As you're working, you observe a townsperson or another player character. Describe what you learn from your observation. You're completely in your element now. Describe how you use an experience to get the work done lightning fast. Oh, I see. Maybe these are all separate ones, right? You come up with the perfect food or drink to give everyone some energy. What is it, and what is the secret ingredient? You notice everyone flagging through a frustrating stretch of work. How do you lift everyone's spirits? Everyone loves your idea for a new addition to the tavern. They put you in charge, but you're doubting your own ability to lead. Who gives you encouragement and how? So they're building on each other. I don't think so. I think you must want to take one of these prompts, right? Like, that's what I think. I feel like, because I felt like those first two, I was like, oh yeah, you're doing it. Actually, these are just all the prompts for scenes, right? It's not clear, is it? I don't think you're doing this whole, because you imagine doing this over and over again, all through the prompts. I don't think that's the case. We've got here, there was an accident and someone was hurt. Fortunately, it wasn't life-threatening, but they definitely need patching up. Who helps them? You tell everyone you'll treat them to food after work is done and at a well-loved spot in town. What is the place called and what is everyone planning on ordering? Oh, that's quite nice. I like that. Oh, and I say as well, I like how we've got, look at the side here. Oh, can I? It looks, yeah, I was gonna say it is screen readable. On the side of the page, it says wear and tear. It says what the name is, and it also has. That's one thing I was gonna say. It also has the icons as well, so you easily see. Oh yeah, it is one that's role play. Oh yeah, it will upgrade our mechanics. And the image here, it says, a gnomish androgynous person sits on the ground next to a well. The mortar of one particular part is still wet, as if they've just repaired it. Oh yeah, a little bit there, I see it. It's quite cute. Their back leaned up against the wall, a large pitcher of freshly squozen and citrus juice beside them. Oh yeah, there you go, there it is. Whilst the other, they hold in one hand, whilst the other wipes their forehead with sweat with a patterned handkerchief. Oh, there's no patterned handkerchief. No. A hard day's work rewarded with a gift of a refreshing beverage. Nice. That's quite cute. And then we're going to skip ahead quite a bit to go for that final one. And we'll make some nice images, both a mixture of line drawings and in full colour art as well, but also different styles of art as well. Yep, definitely too young to get an ale. Citrus juice, you know, instead of, I don't know, lemonade or orange juice. Familiar face. Oh yeah, look, the art. Oh, it's so different, the artwork. Oh, he's beautiful. Sliced. Oh wow. You know what? Actually, this reminds me. Sorry, this image here, where it looks like an individual is cutting up a tentacles effect, reminds me of Dave the Diver, where you open a sushi restaurant. It's really great. Oh, and this one uses this sliced one. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail about this one. Uses cards for its main mechanic, and look, the cards icons. So like diamonds, clubs, hearts, spades. They're drawn, but as with like food. So like, let me say here, so the image composed of many spices and seasonings forming the diamond suit shape. Image composed of many fungi and lichen form the club suit shape. Oh, that's so cool. Composed of steak, fried fish forming the heart's suit shape, and then finally composed of many plants and produce forming the spade shape. That's very cool. I like that a lot. Oh man, look at these bloody images. They're great. Ooh. My headphones are pinching me because I'm wearing my glasses. God damn. Need to get my contacts. That's brilliant. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's really beautiful. Romancing a Stranger. Again, we're not going to look at that one. Look at it in your time. Look at, oh, well that's... Oh, it's off the clock. I was like, is that Romancing a Stranger still? There's two people kissing in that picture. Festival Day. Oh, there's a big gap there at the top. That's a shame. Retracing. Oh, look, look at that. This one also, this particular mini game called retracting also uses hearts, but look, it's different images. So it's got like a made out of the environment. So this one says here, a better fish statue made of crystal covering light moss and slightly ruined, obviously ancient, but gorgeous. Fins and shape vaguely make out a crystal shape, but I presume that's diamonds there. And then here it's got ones that like clubs. There's a heart one there that looks like an oven, an outdoor clay oven with a heart. And spades here. Oh, very good. That's cool. I like that a lot. Alright, keep going. We're almost there. And in the tail. So yeah, very much like your Zabler's bed and breakfast, isn't it? Oh, that's cute. I do wonder if you could just roll, or like, hey, we want a certain theme. Like, if you have a table, like, oh, we're looking for something, we want wholesome vibes, we want to explore dark things. Play these games. You know what I mean? Like, that could be quite cool. I got heads and tails there for a game here. A funeral. Oh gosh, that's a beautiful image. Oh, that's gonna be so sad, isn't it? So I'll describe the image. So we have like 5 people in a bed, like, you know, adventuring. Clearly, they're all like maybe early on in the adventuring game, they're all having to share a bed together. Very cute. And then on the other side of the image are clearly one of them has passed away, and the 4 of them are sort of like holding a memorial for them. Oh, that's so sad. Like, really good. I like that a lot. Ah, here we go. In the rhythm of things. Time passes, rough edges are sanded down, and before you know it, life in the town has become like breathing. You gather in your favourite part of the tavern and wonder where the time has gone. This is the last game, and everyone plays. Everyone takes turns describing a habit the character picked up whilst living here, and then proceed to the ending questions. And everyone takes turn asking each other questions. The game is over when everyone has asked 2 questions. So here are the questions. So it says, what was the hardest part of fitting into town? Who helped you the most as you acclimatized? Sure, to be acclimatized. What is your favourite memory of your time here? What surprised you most about living in town? What was the best dish you remember eating what is the best dish you remember eating that one of you made? Right, there you go. What was the worst dish you remember eating that one of you made? Where is your favourite place in town? What do you miss about adventuring? Wow, some really good ones there. Oh, look at that one. What's a neat trick you learnt, and what do you look forward to every week? And then we've got another image at the bottom there, which I'm, again, just because of time, I'm not going to read any more. But I will read this one. Look at this. There's somebody in a sort of cooking here. So a half-orcish man, handsome fellow, shaggy and slightly curled dark green hair, stands in a messy and small sort of kitchen, busy with a steaming pot. The liquid swirled in an iridescent sheen. Pieces of a strange-looking serpent spleen soaked inside. Oh dear, oh dear. Bottles of vinegar and jars of sauce strewn about the counter. Cut up mandrakes on the left counter cutting board. Knife dirty with burdock root and bunches of various herbs. Mushrooms, slimy-looking noodles, cooking oils, and just a big sort of cozy mess. As he really wanted to try the recipe and doesn't exactly have the space, but dang it all, he's gonna try. Amazing. I can picture a non-specific genre book of tavern inspiration. Like there's a finite amount of situations that could specifically occur in a bar/tavern, i.e. drunken brawl, washing dishes, karaoke, etc., serving, etc. And those have scenarios, prompts and tables. Agreed. I think, because basically this game, it's like, it's hiding the fact that what do you do after you retire, right? How do you keep yourself busy? And it's like, you run a tavern because you're adventurers, right? I think you could make it so that it's not a tavern, but it's like a community centre, or you are a doctor's. You are the post office. You know, that's volunteering. The garden, like you're volunteering with the gardens, dog walking, I don't know. I think it could be anything like that. Like, it has to be a business, right? And I think the reason maybe it's taverns, obviously there's a big trope about taverns being places where you meet people and all that sort of thing. So I like that. And I think these ones are, I like the idea that some of the stuff you do isn't connected to your business necessarily, but it's like connected to you. Like somebody comes to visit. There was like a friend, a long lost friend coming to visit. Somebody passing away in your family, or one of your friends, and how do you deal with that? I think those are really cool. I like those. That they're not all locked to that location. It is about the people behind the tavern itself. So then we've got recipes. Not to take away from the vision or effort that goes into these slice of life or world-building RPGs. Not at all. No, I absolutely... Oh, wait, you've said some more stuff there, sorry. Mechanics work in any system or genre or filled book with artwork ephemera that speaks for itself, and sci-fi, fantasy, horror, cozy art pieces. Agreed. Well, it's very much like your Zabers, right? Because that is an artifact RPG, a legacy RPG as well. And no, I agree. I feel like we should have more tables for certain things. Okay, we'll go on to like what do we think at the end. But I think it'd be, yeah, I like having prompts of like what you can do in a tavern that isn't like you take a job, you know, that you've all come here because your friend has passed away and there's a will reading or anything like that. I think that could be quite cool, that you're here for something else that's not, as you said, a drunken brawl, washing dishes, you know, something that's connected to tavern. It's like you're all here at this place because something has brought you here, and maybe you're in town for a couple of days. And what does that mean? So now we're looking at recipes, which is like, I see, interesting. So here's an example of a dragon hot pot, which I'm not going to read out necessarily, but like it gives you, for example, for the saucer broth. So it gives almost like a sort of like a recipe, but clearly it is fantasy. There's like 1 dragon tier, 2 segments of sea serpent spine. And then it says, cook at home recipes. Due to the success of the crowdfunding campaign that brought Stewpot to the market, we've been able to commission 4 fantasy-themed recipes that you can actually cook in your home. I was right. These dishes were crafted by food author Krista Debor, who bring you comfort and warm in your soul in the same cozy spirit of the game. They include traditional and vegetarian options and should be easy to prepare without any sophisticated cooking skills or a fancy kitchen. Whether you make them yourself or for your friends to share around an evening exploring Stewpot, we hope that you enjoy the warmth, creativity and goodwill that went into creating them. Ah, top notch there. Oh lord, there's no alt text, even though it is written. To be fair, it is readable, but it is a letter that is from Krista. So it says, my autobiography could be written as a recipe book. From my upbringing in Newfoundland, Canada, where I ate foods like molasses on fried bread dough, I want to say jigs or figs, diner, and scrutchons, and where it was perfectly normal to buy a lobster from the back of a guy's truck. To happy moments such as my 2008 trip to Lerwick, where I ate otherworldly cheese parcels. The scary times, the sad times, food has always been there. And the times it was not. Its very absence was something to note. These 4 recipes are all designed to bring your comfort, to warm your soul, to help you experiment, to make mistakes and laugh. I want you to write your own autobiography in my childhood molasses cookies. What a weird last line, I would say, Krista. But I like. Well, it's nice that we get a little bit from it. Oh, interesting. Look, first we've got a beautiful image, very, very like Great British Baking Show, right? And it says Dwarven Lassie Drops, which looks like a molasses like cookies of some sort. How interesting. Oh, the image. Sorry, the alt text here says a Dwarven Lassie Drops dish ready with cookies and in the foreground and some dough on the some dough, and on the background some other ingredients that can be seen like cinnamon and ginger. Hi Kev, how are you doing, my friend? And then we've got the only thing Stormhand brothers ever agreed upon was their mother's molasses cookies. Of course, Derwent was never satisfied with something Derwent liked, and eventually published his own version of the recipes, much to his brother's annoyance. Regardless of which version is best, innkeepers still bake these cookies whenever important guests visit to chase away foul smells. That's quite cool. Very much like those when you look up a recipe and it goes, I got this recipe from my grandmother's cookbook, and you're like, oh, skip to recipe. I know why people do it. It's to give that sort of personality and feel, but I'm just like, I don't know who you are, but I just want to make chicken pasta, please. So that's quite cute. And then we've got like It's spread out over several pages, I'm going to guess. I'm not going to read all of it through, but yes, we've got... Oh, it's over on 2 pages, so that's good. So we've got here the stuff for cookies, fancy molasses, and then how to make it both with Fahrenheit and Celsius cooking speed. That's quite nice. And also the font as well is quite easy to read. Oh, interesting that we've got 2 versions of it. That's quite good, following along with the lore. And then we have grass pie. Oh, what's in grass pie? Skip ahead. We've got onion, cloves. It's also vegetarian. Spinach. There you go. That's what it is. Ricotta cheese. Oh, very nice. So it's a cheese pie then, perhaps. Nan's gruel. That's a beautiful image there. So cynical. I want to know Granny's life story. Well, you can do that. Here we've got pearl barley, hot sauce sriracha. Okay, so it sounds like they're all vegetarian, which is quite nice. Oh, look, does Pinky's definitely not pick soup with dough balls. Do you put it in a bucket? What have we got this? So this one has got bacon in. Soup has got bacon, celery, broth, dried yellow or split green peas. What makes it? What's the colouring? Oh, I guess there, maybe the Swede? I don't know. I like the idea that you can make it pink. Not sure how you do it. Oh, and then look at the end. Oh, we've got everyone's... Oh, how sweet. We've got credits of everyone at the end, but they're all with the art stuff. Oh, how sweet. That's really nice. Oh, so it's just the artists at the end. That's nice. Very good. And then we've got the NPCs and the tavern sheet and all the stuff there. And then we've got the final bit of the book. Wow, we went through the whole book. Incredible. I mean, obviously we didn't read everything, but there you go. All right, let's zoom back up. So that was Stewpot. I'm going to put another link into where you can grab a copy. What do we make of Stewpot? I like the idea. You know what? It's clearly a game where you would play it as you finish the story or finish a campaign, a long campaign in a fantasy setting. You could do like if you want, hey, we don't feel like we've finished it, or we're trying to work out what we want to do for the next campaign. Let's play a session or 2 of this. Obviously, depending on how many people you have, I think probably 1 or 2 sessions to make sense of it. I love the artwork. The artwork's really beautiful. Yeah, big ticks for the alt text. Yes, I think clearly they've taken my notes to heart of like just reuse your art brief, but not changing it slightly. So obviously, if it says "see below" and you're like, "There's nothing below," because obviously it's referring to some extra notes. I think all the art is beautiful. Actually, I love the idea of mini games, and I know we only looked at 3, but having unique mechanics which allow you to roleplay a bit more, it feels quite good. Maybe explore a bit. I'd also say, like, I can imagine this. I presume you'd also use it as we're just starting a game, and it's completely separate to anything else you've done. So we don't know these adventurers and what happened previously. As someone said in the chat, I think it would be nice to have more prompts for certainly names, but also make it clear, like, that some of the games when it's asking for prompts, that you're going like, oh, sorry, brain has gone. It is 1 or 2. Brain has completely gone now. It's you do one of these prompts per person, you know. Basically, Grandad says to play winter meetup with folks who we're all TTRPGs, but maybe not together, and get them round a bowl and an ale or free. Absolutely, yeah. This would be a nice one to do in person for sure, and like everyone bring food and chat away and stuff like that. Maybe like if you do a long weekend of games, you know, you lucky people who get to do that. I think that'd be really nice, actually. Yeah. Anything else? I think the character sheets are good. I like that they're form fillable. I think the layout is very good. Obviously we know Kat the Law Mistress, who was in chat earlier, ran an actual play of it. And the mini game aspect of it, so it's different. But it allows people to roleplay. I feel like maybe it's aimed at, like, who's the audience? I assume that it's aimed at maybe a younger audience, perhaps, but I don't think so. I don't know who the audience is. The artwork makes it feel like it is at a younger audience, but actually not. And the world building is quite cool. Yeah, I think, yeah, it feels like a more condensed version of Zabers. and you get those keepsakes and stuff. The keepsakes don't really do anything, do they? They're not a mechanical thing. Again, all of this is sort of like, it's cards, it's a coin toss, and there was obviously some dice that you could use perhaps. And I think you upgrade your tavern and you can get some more bits. You're better at certain games. Maybe that was it. Again, because we didn't look through all the games. Maybe that's the one thing I'd say, is that it would be nice to see, are all the mini games, when they use, say, cards, is it the same rules of the cards, or is it the same coin toss? Because like in Yzabers, for just a quick explanation, because I appreciate time is against me, you have different chapter types. So you like have spooky, cozy, all that sort of thing. And it says at the beginning, oh, these chapters use coin flips, and the number of coins, you get this and the other. And then anything special comes in the actual chapter itself. So you already know what the main mechanic is. Here we didn't really have what the main mechanic was, other than like you play 3 games, take a break, do the wear and tear, play 3 more games, wear and tear, until everyone's used up their experiences, and then we'll play the final game. Yeah, it could work as a bookend to campaign like years later, but not like real-time years. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I think it's definitely a game which it's got a finite end to it, and depending on how many players you have in it. So yeah, it's not like a constant running simulation of like, oh, the tavern, oh god, the taxes have come again, so I think you can have some real emotional parts in it as well. I like the name of it. I think the artwork's really good. I think I'd be interested to see if there's any expansions in the future. To make it so like, what if it is sci-fi? What if it is mystery or small town or like other locations, other vibes? I think that would be really interesting. But there you go. That is Stewpot. I think for $15. I mean, like, again, we talked about pricing and stuff before. I think it's an absolute steal. I think for 150 plus pages. Again, the layout is obviously it's a bit more spread out, maybe for ease of read, which I don't mind too much. But I think that's an absolute steal, and the artwork is so beautiful. It's so evocative. I'd love to see more of that artwork as merch. I know, you know me, fill the art wall. So yeah, so there you go. That is Stewpot. You can go grab it either through that affiliate link I put in there, or if you go to the Evil Hat website. And on the Evil Hat website, I'd say there are other reviewers' videos there, and there's also an actual play or 2 on there as well, so you can go check them out. Alright team, let me go back to Big Fiona Cam. Hello! Welcome back. This has been Too Long Didn't Read TTRPGs. Thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate it as always. If you want to hear out more about my work, I'm going to put all the links in the chat now whilst I remember. Yeah, so I do a couple of podcasts. The main one is What Am I Rolling, which is a twice-monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different RPG systems and interviews with game designers. At time of streaming, we have released an interview with Daniel Kwan of Asians Represent. His game Wandering Blades is kickstarting just now, which is a very again another beautiful game. I'd say some incredible illustrations there, inspired by wuxia media, so those sort of Hong Kong action films and that sort of drive from sort of Chinese culture of really evocative melodrama games. Lethal melodrama is what it's called. And it's a genre I don't know much about, but I will say Daniel's passion really inspired me to go away and put some more of those films and those media touchstones on my list, because again, different kinds of stories. We're also halfway through, or will be halfway through this Sunday, of our Savage Worlds Zombies RPG, which was an absolute joy to record. Hopefully people out there are also enjoying it as well. Yeah, and also if you're like, I just want to hear about D&D, I said, well, go check out the DM's Book Club, a weekly book club podcast where we talk about some Dungeons and Dragons and discuss how we might include them in our role-playing campaigns. Here we are currently, we're about to start, I think today is the day. I can't remember what, because I've been doing lots of editing, so I can't remember what this structure is, but we are currently looking through Fae, the Land of the Red Wizards, which is a book by Ed Greenwood. And what do we like about it? It's that's something, because I didn't know much about Red Wizards other than Saz Tam's the person. So that was going to come out, so we've got a 4-parter coming out. And yeah, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, come check those out as well. And as I sort of mentioned to somebody in chat earlier, I am one part of the RP Geeks. That's worked. Thank you, Nightbot. Which is a TTRPG, nerdy TTRPG show with epic stories and fascinating facts. Our USP is that we play lots of different games, but also we like having a little bit of a lore drop, a little bit of a nerd out at the breaks. We also play Blood on the Clock Tower, which we did last night, so you can go check that out as well. And we've just finished our Blades in the Dark series, and next week is just a gaming session, and then after that we're doing, fingers crossed it all comes together, a Call of Cthulhu one-shot with one Dom Allen of the Apocalypse Players and No Rolls Bard. Very excited for that. So yeah, go check us out on all those social medias. Finally, I'm going to do it. I hate doing it because, these things... If you've enjoyed the stream or any of the work that I've done, consider buying me a coffee on Ko-Fi. We're at a time right now where I know money is precious to lots of folks, and I'm doing this all off my own back. But any little donation goes back into doing this. It goes towards buying TTRPGs and just supporting the podcast and whatnot. And I very much appreciate it. I don't expect people to fund my lifestyle or anything like that. But it's just, something I love doing. And so, yeah, any little donation, I very much appreciate it. Final thing, as always, there's always loads of things. If you want to come hang out in the Word of My Rolling and DM's Discord, come, there's a link in chat. And yeah, we talk about all sorts of different RPGs. It's just a fun little group of people. We talk about lots of different things, TV shows, films, all that sort of good stuff. So yeah, go check that out. Alright team, I've got to rush away. I'll go do this other Session 0 stuff for RP Geeks for our upcoming series. Thank you guys so much. I hope all is well. Make sure you have a good cup of tea or good hot pot as well. God, this game's made me very hungry. I also like the recipes. I think the recipes were good. I'd like to see more of them. But maybe that's going to be expansion. Maybe they'll do like a recipe book or something. Anyway, next week we'll be back, hopefully. I always say this, for another TTRPG, Too Long Didn't Read TTRPG, which will be on... Oh, interesting. Sorry. I see a lot of messages have happened in my absence. I'm like, oh no, don't message me. There we go. Next week we've got... Ooh, we're looking at Wickedness next week as our Too Long Didn't Read TTRPGs. Yes, hang on, I don't want to start the event, I want to read the event. Let me read the event, please. Wickedness is a peculiar tabletop game written for exactly 3 players and 1 tarot card deck, with no dice and no GM. Together, you will form a coven between 3 mystical archetypes: the pure of heart, the wild spirit, and the old soul, and trying to keep your world of magic and mystery in balance with the mundane world, in spite of its ignorance, poverty, and violence. Yes, I'm looking forward to reading that, because I saw... one of the rascals, I believe it was Chase, who read, who tried to play a game and got it so wrong they had to stop playing it, and that is interesting. And again, from the article I read about it, it wasn't through lack of trying. I think the book wasn't as explanatory as it could have been. So this is why Too Long Didn't Read TTRPGs works, because then you can work out how would you do a game and the accessibility of it all. So yeah, so that'll be a fascinating one to look at next week. So yeah, that's Wickedness. So come join us for that. That'll be on Wednesday, 11 AM Central Time, 5 PM BST time. Check your local time zones, etc. Anyway, much love, friends. Keep safe, play more games, and I will see you next week. Find the end of stream button. Bye!